All right, welcome to another Invincible Leadership live stream training. I'm excited to deliver. I'm Vince Michael, and I'm just thrilled actually to be in this position to be able to share with you a way to accelerate everything that you're really up to as a leader, as a coach, as a healer. This is the 30-day coaching to cash flow accelerator, all the tech, the training, and team that you need to earn while you learn. See, most of us are spending a lot of time learning, but not enough time earning. So I'm going to shortcut all of that for you. I've got over 12 years professional coaching experience, 12 years actually working with coaches, healers, leaders, training them to be equipped, to be empowered, and to get successful in the online space, doing what they love and reaching the people that they want to impact. So let's jump right in. I'm excited to have you here. Most new coaches and healers and leaders are spending months and months learning how to figure out what their offer is, how to build their funnels. They're designing logos, they're creating content, they're trying to mimic and model what they see other people doing to be successful. They're being very busy, but they are typically making little to zero cash flow. And why is that? Well, the reason is they don't really have a proven path. They don't have mentorship that can shortcut and accelerate that for them. They're trying to figure it all out on their own, as I was initially, and they don't have the right environment to thrive in usually. These are all things that I've noticed working with countless coaches right now, leaders and healers who want to step up, step into greater degrees of influence. And there's just a lot of problems and challenges that plague them. I want to cover those here, how to break through them swiftly, and what you need to know so that you can step into success faster. Basically, all of these leaders, healers, coaches, including myself at the very beginning, we're trying to figure it all out on our own, right? So what they're doing and what I was doing is, we're trying to match the success of someone who has years of failures and also wins, but have not yet endeavored the actual path ourselves at all. So these type of people are still running around rampant. I've been working with them, some of them up to a year, 2 years of doing this and making no progress. They're really enamored by the fantasy of success as a servant leader, this vision of transforming people's lives all over the world, living that laptop lifestyle, the work from home or work from anywhere kind of experience. And I understand that it's actually possible. It's doable. Many are doing it today. I've been living that for years and I love it. And more people are doing it more than ever. But they're trying to build this glorious dream without a solid blueprint. And that makes it very difficult. There's way too many distractions also, especially today more than ever. They can't focus. They're feeling overwhelmed. They actually end up succumbing to all of the pressures and the difficulties and end up never growing into the leader and coach that they feel that they've been called to be, right? There's this feeling, there's this desire, but when we run into too much counter opposition, right? When we're trying to accomplish something, we tend to succumb. We shrink back. We want to medicate, sedate ourselves, whatever we do. And we never really fulfill what it is that's in our heart to do, because the pain is too great. Well, we can minimize that pain. I can't say that it can be taken all away. There are pains, hardships, and challenges along the path, but we can certainly minimize them and shortcut the path to success. There's still hard work and effort involved. I'm not here to pretend or bullshit anybody about anything. Like, the coaching and leading journey is a difficult one, but it's extremely rewarding, and it's really only for those who are called. This is not just something somebody just thinks up one day that they're going to do. This has to be a burning desire in your heart, because unless you have a core motivation to step into leadership, to step into coaching, to step into serving successfully, making a difference for the people that you serve and also earning a living doing it, it's going to take everything you have. And so if you're not equipped to do that, this is definitely not the right path for you. And that's totally okay. Not everyone's called to the same position in life. You need to get level with yourself and figure out who it is that you're meant to be. Now, if you are called to coaching, leadership, healing at a bigger level, right, to be more successful at it, then this is the right place for you to be right now. So I mentioned some of the more obvious factors, but I've also found that there are much more elusive and hidden factors that are preventing success. The unconscious self-sabotaging conditions that I see few people are even getting close to identifying, let alone breaking free from them. You see, the dream is always easy to see, and it's easy to feel the excitement and the enthusiasm about that in the beginning, but the reality of manifesting it is much more difficult. There are external barriers and obstacles, And then, like I just mentioned, there's a bunch of internal hidden barriers and obstacles. And all of these need to be overcome in this game of leading and coaching and serving in order to be successful. It's my actual passion today to streamline this process for the genuine heart-centered leaders that are around the world. Because honestly, looking at the landscape of politics and the globe today and all the different leaders, the wars at place, it's crazy and chaotic. So more than ever, I see the need for really powerful, authentic, heart-centered leaders to rise up, because the planet and our fellow human beings need space to heal, to be transformed, to be empowered, and to step into their real calling as a part of this giant cosmological system that we're all in. It's more than just planetary. We belong to something bigger than ourselves. And a lot of people are just stuck operating inefficiently and are unhealthy, right? Trapped in toxic relationships. They're confused about who they are, why they're here. They're medicating, they're drugging themselves, drinking on the weekends crazy and excessively, chasing sex, pornography, gaming, all these different things, workaholism, to avoid confrontation with stuff inside of themselves or the world. And they're just becoming really useless, right? They're actually becoming a negative vacuum in this body of humanity that we are. We need each other to be in our fullness. We need each other to be in our power. And some of us are called to raise others up into that, to help them find a pathway into their feeling of being and wholeness within, and then self-expressing outwardly, making a big difference in the world. We can't really wait any longer for the great people that are meant to be in their greatness to step into power and light the way. We must be the change that we wish to see in the world. The darkness, the chaos, and the confusion that's happening right now everywhere is like this massive flood, and it's approaching quickly, and the waters are rising, and many people do not have any idea how to swim. They're not having any boats or rafts to float on, and they're going to get swallowed up swiftly. It's crazy the times that we live in. You're here in this live stream training or watching the replay because you know that you're called to lead and to serve. You are here because you know you have a mission and a purpose to make a difference with people. So make no mistake about it. This is why you're here. It may not have been easy up until now with all of your effort and all of your striving to be what it is that you know you're in your heart called to be, but it will be worth it if you continue forward. And I aim right here, right now, to help make it easier for you. So let's dive in to the fullness of this live stream training experience right now. And but before I do, real quick, actually, why don't you drop a comment? Let me know that you're here. Let me know if you're vibing with this training. In fact, once you comment vibing, just drop it below. Also, where are you coming from? Why are you here? Even if you're watching the replay, I'm going to check the comments. Other people are going to see the comments. I invite you to be really engaged, participate in this, ask your questions, share yourself here, share your struggles, share your wins, share your knowledge, whatever it is. Community matters. I promise you that the stronger our network is, the greater our net worth will be. And that's not just monetary value. That's just the value of being. The experience of being can expand. All right. We're not meant to do this game alone. So comment and engage, not just for yourself, not just for me, but even for the other people, because it will motivate and encourage them. Share your thoughts, share your challenges, share your perspectives. It's going to help me know who's here, how to serve you best. It actually fuels my fire to keep these trainings going. And it allows me to continue to support you. And you also get to support other people stepping into space by what you share. So let's all contribute to each other's wins, and we will win together. All right. So here's my promise. In this live stream, you're going to learn a very clear 3-part framework. I'm going to keep it simple so that you can go from an overwhelmed, unsuccessful leader or healer or coach to becoming a paid, transformational, heart-centered, and fully effective leader, even if you're just starting out, because these are timeless principles. These work all the time. They are must-haves, they are must-knows, they are must-bees, right? They must be lived out. Even if you have no idea how to get started, I promise you this is for you, if not even more so for you. But it's certainly even for someone who's been at this for quite a while. So stay tuned, keep learning, keep listening, keep taking notes, because there's a lot that I'm going to share here. It's going to save you months, perhaps even years of wandering in the wilderness. And it's going to give you this possibility of success that's usually out of reach. It may even prevent you from giving up on your dream of coaching, healing, or leading altogether. So do pay attention. Take some notes, capture this information, meditate on it, and then act on it. All right. Your heart knows and feels the calling to serve. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here watching this. And it's important that you understand, though, as I learned the hard way, having good intentions is not a strategy. It is not wisdom. And it is not enough to make you or me or anyone successful at the business of coaching and leading. In fact, I used to have this inner cry that was like, why? I would even cry out to God, be like, how, God, can it be so difficult to want to do good in the world and be successful at it? Because I was struggling. It was painful for me. I just couldn't understand it. My heart was so clean and so pure. And I'm looking at myself and I'm like, how can someone like me with pure intentions, motives, and even skill struggle to make it in serving other people? So if that's you, I understand. And what I found out is what I'm about to share with you here. You got to have distinctions. You got to have wisdom. You got to have a clear path. You got to know what it is that you need to be doing consistently and so much more. So I'm going to share that with you here. Even being gifted or even very effective at what you're doing, skills that you have that make a difference for people, none of that automatically is going to win you clients or really empower you as a business leader. That's an entirely different set of distinctions and skills and abilities that you have to have. They are a must-have in order to succeed. All right. So I think I want to just share with you that I've been, like I said, doing this for over 12 years now. I've helped hundreds of coaches and healers and leaders launch their business, step into the business of coaching, whether it's one-on-one or group coaching or even business coaching. Since 2013, I've been doing this. And I originally launched my very first program called Awaken the Teacher Within. And this was a training to help people get into the online space with courses. This was not a big deal at that time. It wasn't happening everywhere. There wasn't a lot of people talking about this. It was like a little known niche at this time. And I saw the opportunity and I stepped into it. In fact, I found the only other person doing it at the level that I was doing it at after I started, right? There was only one other person I think that was really doing this. And, basically my purpose was to help them get online, develop courses or develop some kind of programs, market themselves socially, through social media, and then win those clients. This was my very first real complete coaching offer. I didn't really have an offer till then. I hardly made any money as a coach. And what happened? I sold $24,000 in 2 months with about, I think, 60 survey and consultation conversations and phone calls, Zoom calls, which wasn't even Zoom at the time. There was a different system that we were using to do calling. I think it was like free conference call or something like that. And it was so powerful for me just to step into that. I followed actually my mentor, his name is Evan Pagan, and I followed his guidance, his training, his advice, and then developed my own path for preparing and launching courses and programs in a very super simplified manner because I was, training with him, learning from him for over a year. And I was like, well, how can I condense all this down and simplify it and make it very affordable for the people that were in my community? I was very close to the spiritual community and network of healers and different leaders that were offering services, but were not really, they weren't really super successful. They were super talented. And I loved hanging around them. A lot of who I am today was because of the gifts they shared with me, but they were lacking the business ability. And I got blessed to be around great mentorship. I already had a lot of business skill in different ways, but coaching as a business is a different skill altogether. It's not like every other business. I was VP of marketing and operations for a trade show display company. I was doing graphic design, web design, and marketing for different clients who needed websites and stuff. So I could see the foundations were being laid. But when I stepped into coaching, it was like, that was a whole different game. And so the skill that I had helped for sure, but it wasn't enough in itself because it's a different type of presentation, a different type of offer, different way of getting clients, different way of running the business. So I had to learn all of this. And fortunately, I had a shortcut with my mentor. And since then, I've been helping hundreds of others step into their own leadership, creating real impact with people, and actually starting to earn even while they're learning with me. And they're doing that now inside of the Invincible coaching system that I teach and train, this Invincible Elite training program, which I'll mention later on. But there's also back then, I was still giving people a chance to earn while they were learning. In fact, I had one lady who she had some offers, she had some skill, but she had not made any sales. She didn't know how to position herself. So I took her on for free because I saw that what she had was really great. She was helping women with menopause, what she called stay juicy after 60 or something like that. And I didn't know what that meant. And if you know, you know, if you don't, look it up. But, I saw that, what she was sharing was there's a real problem out there, and people in her community were really struggling with that. But she didn't know how to reach them, and she didn't know how to really show them what she had learned. I took her on, didn't charge her anything because I knew I could make money with her. I charged her only if she was going to earn with me, and she did. She made $500 on her very first super simple webinar, doing some simple social media invitations, and got a bunch of people there, made $500 in sales in a very small, like lightweight product. I don't remember the cost. It was probably like 79 or 89 or maybe $100 max. So she got 5 sales her very first time doing that, using the frameworks and the tools that I was teaching back then. And the same stuff still works today. A lot of people just don't know it. So anyway, you can check the link of testimonials of people that I work with that are in the description of this video already afterwards, or if you're watching a replay, they're there. And I may share one. Actually, no, I didn't load it up. But either way, there's plenty of people. You can check out my invinciblekingdom.com page. You can find all the testimonials there. That's invinciblekingdom.com. You'll see a ton of people that I've worked with for years. I mean, since 2013, I've been doing this professionally. You'll see a ton of videos there. All right, so who's this for? Like I said, coach, healer, heart-centered leader, really. Someone who's tired of doing this alone, just spinning in circles, not knowing what to do. Maybe you're new and aspiring to coaching, to leadership. Maybe you have a job, but you do have some time and you want to step into something more service oriented. Maybe you have a bit of skill. Maybe you have a bit of understanding. Maybe you've done enough of the work within personally, and now you want to share that with others, and you want to break out and serve people with what it is that you've learned, but you don't know how to monetize that. This is definitely for you. So stick around to the end. I'm going to give you an opportunity to learn through my signature tech setup checklist and a few other things. Really, I'm actually going to give you a 7-step process that's going to really blow your mind. It's what I'm doing today. And, I certainly wasn't able to do this at the beginning of my coaching career because I didn't know what I know now, but I do have this all sequenced out. So it's a really important signature solution and tech setup checklist, a bunch of containers that you need to have to be successful in coaching. So they're the exact tools that I'm using, the systems that I use today to help my coaches start earning in as little as 30 days, right? Depending on skill level, like people can come in with me and just start making money like that because the frameworks, the tools, the technology, it's all handled. Okay. So I'll talk about that later. I want to talk about the core principles, and I'm going to teach about the 3 C's of coaching to cash flow in a moment, but let's relax, let's get centered, and let's prepare to grow. All right. So I'd like you to be able to really experience this training fully. If you want to close your eyes and just relax in your body and feel into the body. It's good to get grounded and present to our physical being, to just feel into who and what we are in this moment, whatever's present. Let's allow any stress or heaviness, any burdens, worries, or concerns to clear from our system by welcoming them. Take a moment to love yourself. Everything I do with all of my work, no matter what amount of business intent we have, starts with the foundation of heart-centered leadership, which begins within, allowing yourself to be led by your heart, the very impulse within you that guides you and directs you. Because what I can share with you is important, but what's most important is that you're being guided and directed from the inner knowing. The teacher within you is the one that has the greatest insight. And that's the one that's going to lead you to success ultimately. It's good to have mentors. It's good to have teachers. It's good to have information and guides. But most importantly, that unique guiding influence within you. Listen for that right now. Welcome that in as best you can. Feel into the heart space and take a deep breath with me through the nose. Mouth out. Good. Nose in. Mouth out. Nose in. Mouth out. This is the best breath right here. Take one really big breath through the nose in and hold at the top. And just feel the fullness of air in your lungs for a moment. Let your lungs expand. Let your belly expand. Relax in the body. Swallow your saliva. Feel the saliva run to the belly. This allows you to tune in to the inner workings of the body. Just relax a little more. Lips into a pinhole. Slowly exhale. and just release and let go. Allow yourself to empty so that you can be fully here, fully now, fully you, to hear what's most important for you, what's going to lead you on your path to success, what will empower you, what's going to enrich you, what's going to equip you. I'm here to serve and support as best as I can. That's my heart's intention. The information is part of that. Most of all, it's my heart presence, my genuine care for you as a human being, and also that I know that you operating in your leadership, in your greatest capacity, is going to make the biggest transformation possible in this world. And it really needs it right now. So feel into that power of you. Welcome that for another moment. And when you're ready, let's dive in. I'm going to begin to teach you the 3 C's of coaching to cash flow. So there are 3 C's, which are each different strategies. Okay? Different strategies for you succeeding. They build on one another. The first strategy, the first C, is clarity. Clarity. Clarity is equaling purpose and power in your life and in your business. Here's the problem. Many coaches, the healers, and the leaders that I know and have worked with over the years that are friends of mine, as well as clients, have not been clear on their offer, or at least an offer that's going to make them real money, that's sustainable, and one that really makes a difference for their clients also long term. They also don't have clarity around their audience, the audience that they most want to serve. It's going to fuel their fire, bring them the income that they're looking for. Or the value is missing. They don't know the value. They don't have clarity on the value that their aligned clients would be looking for. They haven't really discovered that or articulated that. And so they're lacking clarity, which means they're lacking focus and they're lacking purpose and power. But with clarity, you have purpose and power. Trying to lead others or coach, run your business without clarity is like trying to drive to a new city without a GPS, with no map and no instructions, because you have a lot of options, right? You can turn on a lot of different roads. There are many that you can go down and take. Imagine how long it would take for you to get to your destination if you ever get there, even if it was only a couple miles away, right? But you had no idea exactly where it is. And you just had to leave your home or wherever you are and try to find that location. You see what's going to happen. You're going to drive around, you're going to explore, and you're going to navigate your way through God knows where. And it may take you forever to get there. Okay? This is what's happening today because a lot of coaches, leaders, beautiful healers do not have clarity. Not really. So let me share just a mini framework here to support how to get clarity. Number one, you got to define who you serve, who you want to serve, and who's best to serve. I call that your aligned client. They're aligned with you and your mission. They're aligned with your heart motivations. They're aligned with the value that you give and bring, right? And they're aligned with your need to have people in your life that actually support and enrich you as well. So who are the people that you love to serve and are loving you? That's one part of the framework. The second is to define what problems you help them solve. What is it you actually help them with, or what challenges do you help them overcome? Nobody's buying anything they don't want or need. People are looking to end their pain, their frustrations, their failures. They're looking to break through, to break free from whatever's in their way. Do you know what that is? Do you know how to help them do that? How do you communicate that? In the coaching, healing, leading game, getting clients is about languaging and communication, self-expression, messaging. Are we speaking to the people that we want to serve, that we can serve, that needs our service? All right. So then the third point is packaging it with purpose and with price. Packaging it with purpose and having a great price, really, the right kind of price. So how are you going to deliver the desired results in a way that actually works for them, that gets them what they're looking for, that gives them satisfaction? All right. So there's a way to do that, and that becomes your purpose, right? That's what you live for day to day, and how you serve, right? How you serve is the way that you help your clients get results. That's your purpose. And there needs to be a price for that. And there's different ways to create and construct all of that work, and different ways to build up to higher pricing based on delivering different types of value. So to be successful as a leader and a coach, it takes influence. You cannot influence people that you don't understand. You have to become customer centric, or you can't answer the questions that I just asked you, right? In order to answer those questions, you must know who the people are that you're serving intimately and well. Many new coaches, leaders, and healers, they want to sell people what they love and value, what has maybe worked for them, but then they find it hard to get that across to other people in a language that they'll understand or connect with. People want to buy what they want, not what you want. So remember that. It's really important. Here's an example. I recently actually helped two great healer friends of mine and leaders who were trying to serve their community, but they realized that the people there didn't only want healing alone. They actually wanted to step into leadership themselves. They were hungry to deliver more value. They want to just be followers. They wanted to be leaders. So now they're promoting a brand new offer that matches what those people are looking for. And I provided them with templates, tools, structures, lots of support that showed them how they can support their people. And so it makes a difference when you have tools, frameworks, and structures, because if not, you just kind of do what you know how to do, which they were healing and providing safe space and all that. But there was a need for more and a want for more, and there's greater value in that for that community. So having clarity on who you serve, what you help people with, how you help them, right? The way you fulfill on it gives you a solid sense of purpose and a great degree of power. Purpose and power are required, and clarity gives you that. So I give my coaches and leaders in training with me the most powerful version ever of what I call the Invincible offer and influence worksheets. Okay, it's a set of worksheets that now have been simplified to answering questions on 2 of them, and the rest of the other 10 are filled out through special AI prompts that I have, which, I mean, this used to take sometimes a month or more for people to work this out and really build their business on a solid foundation. It's amazing what we can do today. And this guarantees that they have all the answers that they need on the who, the what, and the how with those AI-powered prompts, so that they can go even deeper than ever before, and it takes less effort and guesswork out of the process. They even get a deep dive into their aligned client's inner dialogue to really learn what they're speaking to themselves. All right, this is something I learned from a mentor many years ago. If you want to sell to people effectively, you have to understand the conversation that's going on inside their own mind and heart and get into that conversation. Okay, think about that for a minute. Think about how little we really know when we're starting out. We're really self-centric, right? We know ourselves. I don't mean self-centered like selfish, like in a negative sense. I mean, like, we're really just self-centric. We're oriented around ourselves, what we know, what we value, what we love. And that's beautiful, but that's not enough to get into the minds and hearts of others. Influence is born from knowing these distinctions that I just shared, answering those questions, and really the more refined and detailed those answers are, and the more you feel like your heart connects with those people on the other side of you, the more effective you're going to be. So let me ask you this. What's your biggest clarity block right now? Is it your offer? Is it the audience, like knowing who you're serving? Or is it your confidence, actually? Because we haven't talked about that just yet. Or is it something else? So don't be shy. Being a leader means coming out of the darkness, coming out of isolation. Teresa's vibing. Good to have you here. Thanks, Teresa. And, start sharing what's there for you, what's in the way. Remember, you're sharing, even if it's, not you being super powerful and feeling like you're struggling, helps others feel like they're not alone, and allows you to be a contribution. So where are you struggling now? All right, strategy number 2, that was strategy number 1, clarity. Strategy number 2 is container. Okay, this one's pretty thick. The container equals cash flow and confidence. Here's the big problem. Without a structure to deliver transformation and a system to stay organized in your business and with your marketing and your fulfillment, coaches will hesitate to sell. Leaders will hesitate to step into leadership because they know, either consciously or unconsciously, they don't have what it takes to handle the flow and the energy and to sustain it. And so when that's not present, like I said, even unconsciously, we can feel that we're going to be unable to confidently step forward and succeed. It can take, and it honestly has taken me years to figure all of this stuff out that I'm sharing with you today. And what I'm about to share with you is going to blow your mind because it's where I'm at now, but not where I was when I started. And I wish I would have had all this at the beginning. And it's possible for you today. It really is. You don't have to struggle the way I have and many of the earlier coaches did. There are great mentors and leaders, whether it's me or others, who can take you there. All I'm saying is trying to do this on your own, it's a losing game. We don't have time for that. All right. So I've struggled for years, and many people are, even currently. And it's one of the most important pieces of the puzzle to have the right containers. Okay, I'm gonna talk about a bunch of them. But back when I started in 2013, as I said, there were not a lot of mentors. I got lucky, really. It was a grace that I met Eben Pagan and his wife, Annie Lala, being invited by a friend to shoot video for their newborn baby, whose name is Love, during a special ceremonial dedication. Now, I had seen Eben I had worked with Tony Robbins and Chet Holmes in a business called Business Breakthroughs International. We were selling a program called the Ultimate Business Mastery System with Tony Robbins, Chet Holmes, and then another great collection called Modeling the Masters. And in that collection of Modeling the Masters was this person, Eben Pagan. And I watched these videos like a bunch of times, and Eben was someone that I saw and I loved what he was sharing. He knew the information product business. He was super successful with Double Your Dating and grew at that and turned it into events, and then became a mentor for people wanting to develop their own digital products and offerings and events and business systems and everything and so on. And so that was his journey. And I learned about him through that video. And then here I am shooting video for him and his wife and the baby and their friends that were all together. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, I know this guy from somewhere, but I couldn't pin it. And then I realized who he really is. I remembered from the videos, I'm like, dude, you were on stage with Tony Robbins, Chet Holmes, this thing, and da-da. And he laughed about it. But, it was a really powerful and important connection for me because he was very successful already, operating a $30 million a year business at the time, multiple information products, very well organized, and just beautiful information. I mean, it changed my life. But he, was actually, his wife loved my work at first a lot. She hired me to do video for her, and then told her husband to hire me. Eben hired me. They fired the other guy. And Eben told me that, Annie was right. She's like, I was like, what does that mean? She's like, she said, you need to get rid of your video guy and take Vince on. And apparently the way that I was serving and helping him set up and take care of everything really blew his mind. And he offered me access to his entire Platinum Passport program, which gave me the frameworks, the tools, the distinctions I did not have, which is why I had no success prior to that as a coach. I mean, I was getting some clients here and there by luck, putting myself out there, but I was wandering, really wandering. All I knew is I wanted to help people, but I really didn't even know how. Eben gave me the real foundations, plus then Chet Holmes and Tony Robbins tools, and the things that I was learning from them as well were starting to come into play in a bigger way. But Eben really gave me the foundations for how to start a coaching and training business. And that saved me immensely. So without that, I wouldn't be here, right? Without him in my life and others, also working with Tony Robbins and Chet Holmes was super helpful prior to that. It was setting me up. And there's many other coaches and leaders I worked, or staffed and assisted and volunteered even for coaching and training companies. I did a bunch of stuff to put me in position with people who could model away from me that I didn't know. And it made a huge difference. So mentorship saves us time, money, stress, and can prevent the pain of frustration and failure. And it has worked for me. And I've invested in coaches. I think I have counted up. Last year, it was around 75,000. It's close to 25,000 more, about $100,000 in coaching, training, development, everything that I'm talking about, just learning and mentorship, right? That's what I've invested in over the years since about 2012, right? I started making that investment back then. So in 13 years, that's a lot of money to put in, just do the math. But I highly value having people show me the way, right? So listen, here's a metaphor you need to know. An electric current needs a wire. Okay. There could be a whole battery here, but if there's no wire to deliver the power to whatever tool or whatever system needs that power, it doesn't work. Your power, right, is in you, and you want to deliver that to other people, but it needs a container, right? A wire, a structure to deliver that through. So what is the container that's going to deliver your power? If you don't have a framework for delivering the power and the results to your clients, they aren't buying. Or if they do buy, they're not really succeeding the way that they could. And then you look bad, you feel bad, and you may want to quit. In my Invincible Elite Leadership Mentorship Program, I give my coaches everything that took me years to figure out and pull together, and it's better than it ever was in the beginning. And even then it was working. It worked for me. It was working for my clients back then. It is refined now because I never stop optimizing. So I'm going to share with you everything I've put together over time, these last 12 years. This is a consolidated, compressed, what you need to know, 7-part mini framework of the types of containers that are required to shortcut to real success as a coach or leader. And all of my coaches and leaders in training get this with me now. It's mandatory that I give this to them because this is what's going to position them to be highly professional and successful. So the first container is the marketing container. It's the marketing content and the system for marketing. It's creating a space for your aligned clients to actually get to know you, to like you, to trust you, in leading them in some way, right, with information at first, and then to eventually connect or engage with you because you've built that know, like, trust factor up enough. The second container is the call booking funnel and the automation that's going to allow them to now engage with you directly. Many coaches and leaders are spending a lot of money on fancy tools and learning systems, but all this slows you down. It's nice to have, but you're here to learn and to lead through what you've learned and serve, not spend countless hours on tech setup. You want to build your skills and you want to transmit those skills to empower and serve other people. It's also one of the things that I see people struggling with is, having a system to book a call, but not having a follow-up system in place, because that takes a lot of work, right? So they do book a call with you, then what, right? A lot of people have Calendly and these simple calendar tools, but they don't have a system for future communication and connection, right? For managing that, whether it's automated emails going out and check-ins, text messages every once in a while, warming them up, giving value, or maybe it's just having a system for following up through social media yourself and direct messaging and connecting with them. There's actually different things that you can put in place to make you effective, to ensure that you have more engagement, save you tons of time actually, and make sure that you have, more clientele coming in ultimately. So the third container is what I call the consultation or discovery and breakthrough call container. Okay, this is another container. This is the next step. All right, and all of these are sequential steps. We got the social media piece. We've got the call booking piece because we want to get them on a call next. But then when you get them on a call, then what? You have to create another container. There's all ways to transmit power because people are looking for power. They're looking for life force energy fundamentally, right? No matter what they come to you for, what kind of coaching they're coming for, they want to be empowered. They want more life and they want to expand that life. So this container, the consultation, discovery, and breakthrough call container, this is where you meet and greet the prospect face to face, right? You get to know them, they get to know you. You get to help them identify what's really going on, make them feel safe and supported, and learn about you and your offer. It can take a long time to learn this process and master this. If you don't have a framework, a structure, and a system for applying this effectively, it can take forever. There is an art to it, okay? That's your personal flavor and character and way of being. And there's also a science to it. And so you might be really good at connecting with people. A lot of people think, coaches and leaders that I work with, that their personality is going to get them a sale, and it does not get you a sale, right? That's where you need the science. The art, your personality is an art, okay? You might have a great personality, you might be very friendly, very connectable, but people don't buy from you because why? Because they need to feel like you actually have their best interests at heart and know how to communicate and convey that, help them discover that, make them feel really clear and confident. That's a science, all right? It's not something that's wishy-washy and you don't just kind of wing it, okay? These calls are not about being friendly and likable alone. You must be all of that, but you also must be able to demonstrate with confidence that you have what people are looking for, all right? The fourth container is a payment system. This is where a lot of people get hung up. This is products, pricing, right? Having one-time payments or subscription payments for, multiple monthly payment plans that make it, more affordable for people to step in to coaching with you or, your groups, whatever you're leading or whatever you're offering. The tech stuff can really stop the new coaches and leaders dead in their tracks. It does often. It's one of the biggest hurdles that I see. The people that I've been working with deal with, they just don't know what to do, how to set this stuff up. How do I take payment? Where do I take payment? It's a huge struggle even to this day. I see it all the time. It hasn't gotten easier over the years. So I get asked about it also by a lot of different people actually, because they're just not clear. So got to have that clarity there too. I've set up a system for my leaders that have 1 pay, 2 pay, 3 pay options at different price points for their one-to-one calls, because I want to take the guesswork out of that for them. Okay. They have different price ranges because the way I like to offer coaching is through a sliding scale, right? Some people can afford more and some people can't, and you're willing to work with them even though they can't afford as much. It's like, you know what, this person really wants it and I feel really good about working with them and I know I can make a difference in their life, so I'm willing to do it. It's better to be coaching than not be coaching. You know, it's up to you. Everyone has to make that decision. So I have sliding scale offers ready-made for my coaches because it took me years to figure this out. I just didn't even know, right? And I have the systems already set up. The payments are already there. The payment gateway is already there. It's just a matter of connecting an account to receive funds, right? It's super simple. And I've done that because everything that I'm sharing with you is what I actually give to my coaches in training with me, what I've been helping people set up for years and get them on the right path to success. And so now I've just distilled it down even further because you keep refining and optimizing. So it's really, really awesome. We're in a great day and age, and I feel privileged to be, experienced the way I am now and to be able to help people more effectively than ever. So I've also created a group coaching subscription and a pricing plan with that, with automations for managing the emails, the Zoom links, right? There's other parts, there's, which I'm gonna talk about next, but there's foundational training. There's all this stuff that it's nice to have if you can, but if you don't, then what? Right? How would you even know to do that? And if you have to build all this on your own, it's crazy. Trying to figure out just what it is that you need first is challenging alone, let alone building it, even if you know what there is to build. And so that's why I take the guesswork out of that too. Now, the 5th container, remember there's 7 containers, is the foundations training and prep course that I just mentioned to you. It's for your clients and it ensures that they start on a solid foundation coming into a coaching session, whether it's one-to-one with you or if you lead a group of any kind, like they're coming into this particular group space. It's good for them to be prepared, to have the basics, right? To come in strong. It's also very professional, right? And plus they get something right away. They sign up for coaching. They don't have to wait for the call. They get an immediate supply of value, something they can start working on right away. That just looks really good. It makes you look professional, like you're on top of your game. So I make sure my coaches have that in place. You don't want clients coming in blind either, because the more prepared they are, the better. The less prepared they are, the more time and energy you're going to spend. The more prepared they are, the less time and energy you're going to spend and less stress you're going to deal with. All right. And it feels good to get your clients results. Just let's be honest about that. That's what we're really going after. Most of us heart-centered leaders aren't chasing money. That's part of our problem. Is like, we're not good at that part, right? We love to serve, we love to lead, we care about people, but we don't understand how to manage the money side of it. And sometimes we have really deep subconscious blocks too. And I'll talk about some of that later. I have a simple, short online course that my coaches and leaders get to have their clients come into before they get to book their coaching calls, their very first coaching call. This makes sure that they have the core distinctions, they have guidelines for the work that they're about to step into, and a clear understanding of what's to come. Super professional and creates clarity both for the coach and for the client. So it's a huge value add that I'm delivering today, which I wish I would have known at the beginning. So the 6th container that helps you deliver power is this thing that I call a coaching portal. This is for client onboarding. It has intake questions, session notes, client reflections. Everything goes in here. It's a great way to manage clients. I used to do this in a system called ClickUp. It was a project management system that I was using, started using a few years ago, and it was very expensive actually. And I think it was close to like $100 something a month for what I was doing. And there are other coaching portals that are out there that cost tons of money. I mean, there's some that cost hundreds of dollars a month, and they're not even anywhere near as convenient, effective as this system that I now use today. And I give all of my coaches and leaders this as part of their participating with me, right? They don't have to build this. They don't have to figure all this out. It's already there. They have a place to manage their client sessions, take notes. The intake questions are there. Again, more value for the client that before they even come to a coaching session, the client's already getting started on something. So there's this huge wallop of value. Now, most people sign up a coaching client and the client's waiting to get that call, but this adds so much to it. Plus it helps you manage the conversation. You can do messaging. There's tons of value here. It can be a space for managing the conversations, as I mentioned, instead of using like texting, or WhatsApp or, Facebook, your messages can get lost in other types of things there. It just also doesn't look as professional. And do you really want your clients messaging you randomly all the time? Not really. So, because I've gotten really busy lately, excuse me for 1 second. I've had to implement this in the coaching portals that I'm creating. I have business clients and I have my elite leaders in training. And so I'm starting to move people into this new system right now to have all the communications handled there. And I'm just letting my clients know not to text me or message me in any other way. And I've just started implementing this and it's been really effective already. Plus, it puts all the communications in the right space. They don't get mixed in with other personal things and, whatever else. So that's really good. I also don't have to deal with the reactive feelings of handling messages right away because I always check my, my platform and I get to see that I have a notification when I dedicate time for that. So it's just another thing. That's one of the tips I got from Evan years ago on, managing my time and optimizing performance and productivity. It's not to be reactively responding to messages and whatever people come at you with every day. It's just bad for business owners to be doing that. The whole got a minute meetings. Chet Holmes talked about this when I was in training with him. The got a minute meetings for CEOs, he's saying just doesn't work. And I found that people just want to do that. You got a minute? Can I talk about this? Can I talk about that? And then next thing you know, you're just derailed from everything you're doing. So this helps the client, but it also helps you. And again, as a new coach, a new leader, or even someone who's been doing this for a while, you may not even have something like this. It saves a lot of trouble, heartache, and time. Okay, so the last container I'm going to share, the 7th container, is the group coaching framework and or the one-to-one pathway to ensure that you give clients real results. What is this? Well, you got a client. Hooray. Awesome, right? That's exciting. Now, what do you do, right? Like, how do you serve? How do you coach? Knowing how to structure one-to-one or group calls, how to lead the clients, how to open them up to their hidden blocks, and then empower themselves is not rocket science. But, when you have little experience, you haven't done this really before, it can be very hard to deliver. So I give my leaders in training now these done for you guided processing frameworks they can use, all kinds of practice with each other that guarantees the client gets breakthroughs. They also get lots of hands-on practice, leading and coaching with each other so that they're not just winging it. Going into these coaching sessions blind doesn't work. But when you practice over and over again and you get feedback and you're delivering value, your confidence builds and you step in very confidently and you serve well. So, one last thing. Sorry, there's actually an 8th step. I think I said there was 7. No, sorry, there is 7. Don't have an 8th step. So that's it. So now I want to give you an example of a client that I was working with last year. She was trying to operate, I say trying because it wasn't really successful, trying to operate like a MMR business. And, which is, trying to sell, pre-configured packages and products, and was having little success. When I got to know her and was working with her, I realized, she's really good. Like she has understanding, she has knowledge, and she can help people. She already spent a lot of time doing this and really saw that the real barriers were not just, what most people thought they were. She started working with us. I say I also had a partner at the time too, but I was servicing all the clients, and within 2 weeks had her get her first $1,200 client. And that's because I was also empowering her to do trauma-informed coaching and this Invincible coaching system, which involves deep inner work and breakthroughs. But $1,200 she got in less than 2 weeks. It was like 2 weeks she had her first call and closed the deal. And that was just an immediate breakthrough for her because she had a structure. She had some encouragement. I went so far at first to help her with her messaging as well. That was a big breakthrough for her, empowering her authentic voice in the social media marketing space. That's what helped her get those calls booked. So let's go back a step and start there. That's really what got this person to get on a call with her, just freeing her up to be herself and express herself. She had knowledge and she had some skill, but she was not really able to communicate well because what she was being given by this other training that she had been through and other trainings, besides that, were very just canned stuff. It was like very just, prefab, messaging and just stuff that just wasn't authentic. So I guided her to be authentically expressing herself, and that won people in. And she started getting clients, multiple clients week after week. And it was really awesome to watch her grow. And she's still going strong today. I get to see her on social media all the time. It's awesome. So it pays to have mentorship and coaching and guidance, because she was doing nothing for, I think it was about a year or more, maybe a couple years. And, like dabbling, because there's like, without confidence and clarity, you can't really be potent in your work, right? You kind of are forced to dabble. Even if you want to be strong, like you just don't know what to do. You're just like, you're waiting. So let me ask you this. What kind of containers are you missing? And I'd love you to comment and engage with me. What is it that you need most? What are you not doing well right now? What do you not understand? It's okay. Like, comment, share that. Number one, the first container I mentioned, social marketing container. Do you have skills to provide that, right? It's your containers. I say containers because we're creating spaces for people. We're creating spaces for people to come in and receive power, right? The container, just like a wire, is contained and sheathed, right? To transmit power. We need something like that to deliver to people. What about your call? Number two is the call booking container and system. Do you have that in place? Do you struggle with that? Number three was the consultation call container. Do you struggle with this? Are you able to provide a successful conversation with people who know that you have value to offer in that call? What about number four, the payment container? Do you have your products and pricing figured out? Do you have structures and technology in place to handle all of that, to make it easy for you? Number five was the foundations and preparation container for the clients, right? Do you have something to give them right away when they sign up that sets them up for the coaching, that prepares them to work with you, that sets them up for success? Number six was the coaching portal for client onboarding, for intake, for call prep, for notes, and also healthy offboarding. I don't think I mentioned that. So that's really professional, and it adds a lot of value, and it simplifies your life and makes sure you're really effective as a coach, because a lot of the work that's being done is by the client. And so there's a lot of tools and systems. I'm going to be showing this at a later time. I'm not going to take the time in this video to demonstrate what that looks like, but that's a beautiful tool in itself. Honestly, I could do a whole training on that for an hour, just like, and wow you. It's beautiful. It's effective. It's awesome. Number seven, the coaching container, right? The frameworks, the tools, the structures for creating consistent breakthroughs. All right. So now let's talk about strategy number three, after we take a little deep breath, nose in and mouth out. Good. Let's get that all out. Nose in again and mouth out. Good. Nose in again, mouth out. Good. Let's just flow. Strategy number three, the third C, community. And community equals mastery and momentum. So we're almost there. I'm wrapping this up. A lot of value here. So the problem, lone wolf syndrome, is keeping coaches stuck in fear, in procrastination, and in just not knowing what to do. I was this guy, so I know. Look, you can't grow in a vacuum, okay? Like, plants need air, they need sunlight, they need nutrients. Greatness as a leader or coach requires mirrors. You need reflections. You need mentors. You need momentum. And that momentum comes because proximity is power, right? You are the sum of your 5 closest friends. Are you surrounded by others with the same goals and the same drive to succeed? Listen, we attune to one another, no matter how independent we think we are. You're going to attune. You're going to start resonating and vibing like the people around you. So you got to think carefully, like, who do you spend the most time with? Your network is going to determine your net worth, as I said earlier. So who's in your network? Okay. Part of why I've created my community is so that coaches and leaders can grow with me and each other and are all going in the same direction, because it matters. All right. So here's a mini framework that I use with my coaches and leaders in training. We got weekly team huddles, right? Our weekly call for ongoing training. There's equipping, empowering, authentic conversations, breakthroughs, all kinds of stuff is happening there. There's consistent cooperative communal support, and that matters. Consistent cooperative and communal support is going to give you this leverage of momentum. It'll keep you going instead of slowing you down. Also, Your vibe attracts your tribe. You've heard that before, but your tribe affects your vibe, right? Your vibe attracts your tribe and your tribe affects your vibe. You want to be vibing with success. You want to be vibing with discipline, right? A lot of people in our lives are not disciplined, right? They're just chasing pleasure, chasing fantasy, chasing addiction, not drugs and alcohol necessarily, but just good feelings and easy times. And it's easy to get sucked up in that because it can feel really good. But next thing you know, your life is just gone and you don't have skills. You haven't built a business. You haven't stepped into the leadership dream or coaching dream. It requires discipline. It's much easier to be disciplined when you're doing it with others. You ever see like a CrossFit gym? You know, people in CrossFit gyms, they're all working out and they all look good, right? Why? Because they're all doing it together. Everybody's doing the same thing. It matters. So who are the people around you right now? Are the people around you supporting your focus or are they distracting you? Are you avoiding discipline? Are you avoiding the structures that'll provide success to you? You might be. You might want to take an honest look at yourself. So another thing that I provide is weekly power partner calls with the leaders in training, right? This is important. Having people to grow with, right? And again, you could do this anywhere. I'm not saying you have to do it here with me, but these are things that I see as a must if you're going to grow into leadership and coaching fast, right? Still going to be work, still going to take time, but man, this will all shortcut it, right? So this is, I do all these things or I implement all these things or provide all of these things for real coaches and leaders in training to step into their power and get successful. And they do because they have what they need. So weekly power partner check-ins for implementation and accountability work, right? Practicing your coaching and processing skills is important. Also, they get to receive coaching and processing so that their personal development is supported. I am continuously receiving coaching and support. I'm giving coaching and support. It's a bi-directional system that must be in place. It helps us grow so much faster. Giving and receiving, not just giving and not just receiving. We need both. So the other thing is they get small group leadership practice. So finding out how to really lead multiple people at once effectively takes practice. It doesn't just happen overnight. So it's best to learn and practice with those who are going to support you and have your back and will gently help you identify what needs improvement, okay? Because it's not going to go so well if people have paid you and you can't deliver. Leadership as a way of being is another huge point. This is the most foundational. I saved it more for the end here, but leadership as a way of being, not just doing. It is the core and the essence of Invincible coaching. The Invincible kingdom starts with being, embodying sovereignty, embodying the presence of divine life and power, right? Yielding to that greatness within us, surrendering all of our efforts to try and finagle our way through life, right? Because we don't feel good enough and we feel ashamed or we feel weak and helpless inside, inferior, insecure, right? And then we present all these masks and we pretend our way through and we just are inauthentic, right? We struggle. Well, first thing we do is lay a foundation for being authentically. Instead of forcing your way forward, we're going to release the underlying blocks, the constraints and limitations that unleash your innate leadership potential. Because to me, everybody has leadership within. So to me, this is also foundational for you. Again, whether you do it here with me or with anybody else, trying to lead as a coach or any kind of leader whatsoever without doing the inner exploratory, transformative work, it's going to make you far less effective. And you're going to run into problems down the road, I promise. So we all know that are doing this, that deep healing and breakthrough is foundational. It unleashes the naturalness of your leadership. It unleashes the true essence of who you are. And there's confidence there. There's love there. There's presence there. People feel that. Also, more specifically, we identify and transform what I call the core convictions. These are, limiting beliefs, but I call them core convictions because they're more, belief sounds weak. It's literally a conviction. These are like death sentences that we cast against ourselves. And then there's the core fears that we carry unconsciously. And at the bottom of it all is the core wounds. These are the number one factors in why people are failing. It's not just the tools, the technology, the systems, the containers that I mentioned. That's all important for sure. But if all of that's in place, and I've seen that be presented and given to people, if this stuff that I'm talking about here, the core convictions, core fears, the core wounds aren't handled, then no tools, technology, systems, framework, mentorship, guidance, all that stuff doesn't work. It just doesn't. So these are the number one factor in why people fail. The invisible and the unseen causes of self-sabotage. People are sabotaging themselves and don't even know it. So here's what I want to share with you as we go forward. One of the biggest things that my coaches share with me and the leaders in training share with me about, what's most transformative for them, it's not how they were supported, the tools that they get, the distinctions, the skills that they're building even. It's who they're becoming inside of a community. It's the connections, the support, this opportunity to be themselves authentically, and also to challenge themselves where they've never challenged themselves before, to break free from those limitations and those constraints within, right? And know that they have people around them to support them through that process. You can't even put a price tag on this. People spend thousands of dollars a year for therapy and just continue going through therapy and never get to the level of some of this stuff, right? Because it's just not provided sometimes. And the level of access that you can have in a group setting with people doing the work together, it's powerful. So listen, I'm going to wrap up soon. Being a great coach, it really starts with you standing in your authenticity, standing in your power, having people around you that support your authenticity, your genuineness, so you can stop pretending, right? Stop hiding. All of this can save you years of feeling less than your worth, which won't let you earn anything. No one's going to buy you if you don't feel valuable, right? And this is going to allow you to get to step into true power when you finally handle that. All of this builds momentum, and momentum is, your ability to maintain a speed of forward motion. We need that, right? Most are going like, we go a little bit and then we stop. We go forward a little bit and then we fall back a little bit. This is like, it's just wasteful. Many coaches and leaders and healers are seeking to grow their income and their impact, but are getting stopped in their tracks because they lack the 3 C's. They lack clarity, they lack the containers, and then they lack the community. You put all 3 of those together and you have a powerhouse of a being. They're going to spend, these people who don't have that, lots of time and money, lots of effort, all alone, and still stay stuck, right? Trying to do it on their own, trying to figure it out from a YouTube video, right? Reading a website. It's not the same, okay? You don't learn how to forge a sword, right, in a blacksmithing, space as someone who watches a YouTube video and, read something about it. Okay. That's just the basics, right? You have to get into the space. It's great to have an experienced and seasoned blacksmith because you're going to run into things that you can't foresee and know. I've been in martial arts training since I was 7, and having, those leaders, the trainers, my Sifu, leading me, coaching me, guiding me, correcting me. I never would have become good at what I was doing without that. There's no way. I wouldn't have known the things that they're telling me. You can't watch a video and master that stuff. You can't watch a video and get feedback and correction about where you're failing and falling short. You're often guessing. It just doesn't work. I know this because a lot of coaches and leaders have been coming to me since I stepped into this industry in 2013 professionally, and I hear the stories all the time and time again. So I've seen certified coaches, right? Certified coaches that got skills and credentials, the certificates, right? Multiple certificates, go 2 to 3 years, never earning a dime, sometimes longer. I've worked with them. These are my clients telling me this stuff. I'm not making this up. This is real. This is to me, wow, how could you go that long and not step into actually living out a business successfully? That's what you paid for. But the truth is, there's a lot of coaching companies out there that are just training you on skills. They're not training you on how to run a business. They're training you on coaching or giving you that certification. The certification is the reward. It's the goal, right? And it drops off there. And that's barely scratching the surface of what it takes to be successful in this industry. So, it takes a lot to get started, as you can hear in what I shared. It's not like it's a small thing, but it can be shortcut. And honestly, people who have some skill with me can get started in as little as 30 days. That's the reality. Why? Because I have all the tools, the systems, the frameworks ready and available. They can have all this stuff ready and start selling themselves as a coach in less than a month even, right? It's possible for the right people. Some people might take longer. Maybe they need to develop skills. I work with people who are just starting. I work with people who have credentials and certifications, but they haven't really built a business, right? Or they've struggled. And so I'm making it easier for them by providing all of these things for them. Okay. So whether you get that stuff that I mentioned in the 3 C's, those 7 parts to the whole system of coaching. Unless you get that somewhere, you're going to struggle. Okay. So it doesn't have to be with me. I'm just sharing with you that I do this, and I have to do this because it's just my moral, ethical obligation, because I want my people to have success. So let me ask you this before we wrap up. How would you feel having a team of people that has your back every step of the way, right? Instead of just doing it alone? What would it feel like for you? Whether it's with me or somebody else, I advise you to find a community, to find a tribe that helps you develop your vibe as a leader, as a coach, as a healer who can be successful. Don't do this game alone. That's my call and request to you, is to listen to something in your heart that says, I'm meant to be part of a family of people that are going to support me and grow me. What would it feel like to have that in your life? Just consider that and be open to exploring that in whatever way works for you. All right, so let me just recap and we'll wrap up. So far, I've covered how clarity creates purpose and power. Containers create cash flow and confidence. I mentioned the 7 specific containers, and how community will create mastery and momentum. So that's your basic blueprint. I hope you took notes. You want to get that ingested and know that, because that's going to direct you. If you have a focus on everything I just shared, no matter where you get this, you'll get it, but as long as you're focused on it. But you need these things. I promise you, this is what works. And not only is it what works, it's not the bare minimum. I gave you like the full gamut. You get the full system and operating structures needed to be super successful as a coach and deliver real value. So maybe you're thinking, how can I actually build a business in 30 days as a coach without wasting time, right? Without all this tech stuff, without guessing my way through? Well, that's exactly why I created exactly what I shared with you here, right? This leadership and coaching to cash flow accelerator opportunity. All right. It's that simple, right? It doesn't have to be complicated. There's a lot of work to do inside of that system that is relatively simple. And I call it the Invincible Elite Leadership Training. It is my mentorship program. It's what I've created to help people who are interested in going deeper, who are interested in having the support. If you're interested in something you can learn about, check the description in the video at the bottom of this page, and you will see that there is a video there, and there's another video you can watch, and there's a whole opportunity page. And then if you like all of that, you can apply. There's no pressure from me. This has to be a good fit. Either way, you're going to learn a lot by going through that process, watching those videos. A lot's going to open up for you. I deliver a lot of value there. So I, implore you to check that out if you feel called to lead. If you're, a seriously committed person to coaching, to healing, to leading of any kind, if you know that you're called to this path, you want to check that out. I promise you it's going to deliver tons of value. While it is possible to get started in 30 days, I don't really sell a simple, easy solution and then leave people on their own after 30 days. A lot of marketers and coaches that promise these 7 figures and 6 figures, they sell you these things and it just doesn't work. I say you can get started in 30 days with me for sure, but that's not the end of the game. There's a whole process. So I provide long-term, close contact, ongoing mentorship and training and support with a team of people for an entire year, because I know that just having all the right tools, the tech, the frameworks alone, it's not enough for coaches to succeed long-term, right? There's just way too many pitfalls. There's things that they don't know, can't figure out on their own, and or just don't know how to break through when they run into it. So I do that because I know it's what works. I don't create, online courses only because I know that very few people actually complete a course and get the value out of it. They really need the hand-holding. They need the community. They need the support of others. We like to be part of other people. It's just what works. So here's what I'm offering to support you going forward. Watch the Call to Invincible Elite Leadership if you want, if you feel called, and there's no obligation, like I said. You click the link in the description below. If it resonates with you and you want to go deeper, you see the opportunity that's there, you see the shortcut that's there, and it feels right, then you can apply for a call with me and we can have a conversation, get to know each other. You can tell me a little bit about where you are, where you're from, what your journey is, what your struggles are. I'll share with you a little bit more about what we're doing. We can vibe and see if it's a fit. There's no pressure. This is a family that I build. Like, this is people who belong, and we care about each other, and we really need to resonate and understand one another. And so, yeah, this is not Everybody just doesn't just get to pop in. This is not a quick money grab for me. I'm building a team of leaders for long-term relationships. Even after the year-long coaching and mentoring relationship, there's other bigger opportunities for us to work together, to create together and make money together while we do what we love. And I'm looking to build these types of partnerships that are lasting, that we can create together and make a huge impact in the world. And so maybe you feel called to something like this. Check it out. I give my leaders and coaches everything that I mentioned earlier and so much more than I could present in this video. Overall, I could estimate the value of all this that I deliver to be about $20,000 easily if I were to compare it to everyone else's offers out there. And I charge less than a monthly car payment to get started with me, right? It's very inexpensive comparatively speaking for all the value that's delivered, the mentorship, the guidance, the tools, the systems, technology, everything. Wham, right? There's people charging tens of thousands of dollars for this stuff, and they don't really give you the whole setup and everything. They don't really guide you. They make you do it all on your own. I've seen it. I've invested in some of it, and it hurts to not get the results. All right. So I've made it super affordable to work with me for those who are called and feel interested and vibe with me and what we're up to, and to be able to earn while you're learning, right? You don't have to go through a year of training before you can make any money. You can start earning in as little as 30 days. It all depends on you. All right. My systems are there to support, and you can far exceed any cost of working with me. And in fact, I even share the risk with you. That's why I was able to bring the price down so much for what I do. It's very affordable. And I make money when you make money. So I put my money where my mouth is, and I'm putting myself on the line and saying, look, these things are going to make you successful. When you use them, I'll make money with you. Okay. I take a small percentage within that year time frame, and that makes up for the cost for me of the systems, the tools, and also my coaching. That's why this has to be the right kind of relationship, because I really need to know that you're serious, that you're going to do the work and going to succeed, because the money that I charge is too little for me to just sell everybody into this. No, I have to have people who are really going to do the work and really care to make the money and make the impact that they know they're called to make, and operate authentically and genuinely all along the way. So you can get started with everything that I've got set up already. You don't have to get bogged down with the stress of figuring all the systems out. And basically, that's it. Check out the description. I appreciate you being here. There's some things that people ask and are concerned about that come up, like some objections, I guess, that people have in their minds about whether they should be a leader or a coach. Well, let's explore some of that in the very end here. Sometimes people are concerned that they're not ready yet, or they're asking that question. What if I'm not ready? What if I'm not good enough? What if I can't be a coach? What if I can't be a leader? These are the things that people are saying and thinking. Well, you're not supposed to be ready as a leader, right? Leaders are not necessarily ready. You just say yes and you step into it. You become ready through action. Okay. Action is what develops leadership ability, not your mind just figuring it all out. You can't. There's nothing that you can figure out about what you haven't done yet. There's only so much you can get prepared for. And then there's action taking and learning along the way. So if you think that you got to be ready in some way, shape, or form, yeah, there's some preparation, which is important, right? What is it? Prior preparation prevents piss poor performance. The 7 Ps I heard from a guy that I used to work with. So you're not supposed to be ready. You're supposed to just say yes to yourself and to the people that you care to serve. And then you step into action and you learn. You're going to make mistakes. Some of you have this perfectionism thing going on. It's like, oh, I got to be perfect. I got to look good. And it just isn't going to happen. That perfectionism will stop you dead in your tracks. No one's perfect. No one's been perfect. I've never been perfect. I've failed miserably, and I've failed in micro ways, but it's failing forward that works. All right. What if I don't have enough experience or the credentials yet? Well, get them. And if you work with me, you get them. Okay. So we train, we deliver multiple modes and methods of coaching, trauma-informed coaching. There's performance coaching. There's all kinds of internal processes and work that we provide people. There's external work and processes. There's relationship coaching. A whole gamut of modalities is delivered through the work that I do, so that there's skill and credibility and the credentials to basically operate. Credentials is not having a certification from a standardized this, that, or the other. To me, real credentials is, can you create the experience that people are looking for, helping them get results? That's what matters more than anything. So you can go get your certifications, but that doesn't mean you're effective as a coach. My focus is effectiveness and that you can deliver on the promise. So you don't need more credentials. You actually really need confidence, clarity, and a container. And experience, as I said, is built through action, not through hesitation. What if you're thinking, I'm overwhelmed by all the tech and I'm not good with systems or setup? Well, I've answered that for you. I've got everything done for you. You don't have to think about any of those things. It's very little minimal tech understanding that you need to work with me and the stuff that I've put in place. Okay. So if that's something that you're interested in, you definitely want to check out what we're up to. So also the team that I have supports you along the way. That's super huge and important. So other questions that I hear, people say I've already taken, other programs. I didn't get results. How's this going to be different? I think if you paid attention to what I was sharing, you realize that this is not a course. This is a coaching, community, and launch system, okay? With hands-on work, mentorship, people to support. Like, this is like the real deal, okay? I've put everything together that I know is needed because I saw all the freaking ways that people can fail, and I've failed and fell short trying other systems and programs and all these things that weren't delivering for me. So I've put something together that's very intimate and will work for anybody who is really committed. We don't just teach, right? We actually walk with you every step of the way. You're not alone. Some people say, I'm too busy now, I don't have the time. Well, it does take a little bit of time. It does take time to, step into, another container, to learn these things, to develop yourself, to present yourself. So yeah, maybe it's not for the person who's working 80 hours a week, right? Or maybe it is, because they say, if you want to get something finished or accomplished, give it to a busy person. So sometimes they can actually handle more because they're in momentum. They have good systems. They're efficient. It depends. You need a little bit of a time, but you don't need a lot of time, right? You don't need more time. You really need momentum, right? And momentum is what we deliver here, helping you launch with structure, helping you launch with support, even if you only have a few hours per week, which is really all it takes to step into this work, right? 3 to 5 hours a week, and you can be up and running. So sometimes people wonder, like, what if I invest in this and it doesn't work for me? And it's like, look, man, like, ultimately you're the authority. I know I'm delivering everything that's going to work for anybody who's seriously committed. And it works for anybody who shows up. It works for anybody who puts in the work. It works for anybody who's willing to do what it takes. I've taken as much out of it as I possibly can. That's fair and right and just. I mean, you're the leader, you're the coach, you're the one that's meant to be succeeding, right? So I want to remove all the things that are really not, to me, they don't qualify you as coach. The tech and tools and systems set up, like if you're a tech coach, if you're a business coach, if you're that person, then you probably should know some of that stuff. But if you're out there, looking to serve people and provide a safe space where people can get transformed, healed, empowered, right? You don't need to mess with all of that right now. What you need is something that can get you up and running quickly. I've got it done, handled for you. So the only thing that's going to make it not work is you, right? You just getting in your own way, not doing what you're supposed to do. And just, that's it. Simple as that. All right. So what's your biggest takeaway today? Love to hear you drop that in the chat. What did you learn? What did you experience? What value did you get? What questions do you still have? Please ask them. I am really delighted to deliver this experience with you and for you. So sending big blessings your way, and wherever you decide to grow and decide to learn, may it be enriched. May it multiply like abundantly, because as I said at the beginning, leaders are needed in our world today more than ever. And so my heart is with you. May you be fully supported in all of the way forward, and I'll see you soon. Take care.